Welcome. I want to let you know about the computer science offerings for spring 2019. First, we need to talk about what is Synchronous Online. Cowley has started a new feature for the classes. We're offering computer science courses down in Sumner County, and it's at our Wellington location. So if you come down to Sumner Center, you can attend the computer science courses in person. We're also, for each class we're offering at the Sumner Center, we're having an online synchronous section. Now, what synchronous online means is you may see a class scheduled from 8 to 9:20 on Monday and Wednesday. You'll also see OL section, so synchronous online, that'll be scheduled at the same time. And you may have wondered about that if you've seen it. And that allows you to sign on from home or sign on from any location where you get on a computer. You can even get on a tablet and attend a lecture. You can see and hear me show examples, work problems, the interactions of the class. You can also ask questions. Now, you might say, well, I work during that time. Well, each of those synchronous online sections are recorded in YouTube video format, so they're uploaded. So you can treat it just like a regular online class, except for you have full lectures. So we wanted to provide the computer science courses available for anybody at any location, even if your location is at home, or if you're at work and you get approval just to watch the lecture during that time or interact. First class is Introduction to Computer Science. This is strictly online. This is not synchronous online, but just 100% online. And this introduces you to HTML. This is the web language of pages. So all pages you see on the World Wide Web are written in HTML. It also includes CSS, which is style sheets, formatting. It's a formatting add-in to HTML. And you'll also see a little bit of JavaScript, so a little bit of programming there. There's a CYSA plus Cybersecurity. This is if you're going into cybersecurity and you want to get the CompTIA certification. This is a prep class for that. So you take this and then you go off and you take the CompTIA test. The class by itself, in terms of industry, the class by itself is a little bit meaningful, but they're really going to ask you, well, why didn't you go off and get your CompTIA certification? So after you take this prep class, you go off and you take that test and you score so high, then you get your certification. GIS Applications. This is Geographical Information Systems. And this, you've maybe used map-based packages in the past. Probably the ones that you've perhaps used the most is the Googles. You remember Street View and some of the other nice packages they have that are graphical and have a map interface. GIS Development. This gets into the development side with GIS. So some of the programming behind it. And again, this is Monday, Wednesday, 1:30 to 2:50 p.m. And but you'll also see a synchronous online section, so that you can watch it from any location. And you'll see during that time slot, you'll see various locations at different centers. But again, the synchronous online opens it up to watching it whenever, even at a time not at Monday, Wednesday, 1:30 to 2:50. You can get on and watch the recorded YouTube lecture at 3 a.m. at night. There's developing for the iOS, the app development 2. This is if you've taken the first course. This is Tuesday, Thursday, 9:30 to 10:50 a.m. and also synchronous online. That's developing apps for your iPhone and so forth. There's virtual reality programming, Tuesday and Thursday, 1:30 to 2:50 p.m. It's also available synchronous online. So virtual reality is kind of becoming a thing of the future for game development. And even if you're not going into game development, some of these programming classes just gives you extra skills in programming. If you're going to take a general elective anyway, you might as well take a programming one that'll help you versus a basket weaving 101. There's C# programming. This is Monday, Wednesday, 12 to 1:20 p.m. Also synchronous online. C# programming, the pound sign is always represented sharp in terms of programming. You may see F#, C#, so forth. They took the best of C, C++, and Java, and they put it into Microsoft's package, Visual Studio. Kind of did it correctly. I love C# programming. It's easy to develop with. Sometimes I struggle in C++. Sometimes I struggle in Java, remembering the exact syntax, and it's just not as intuitive as C# programming. Of course, the problem with C# programming is you're probably going to be developing in the Microsoft environment, which if you're working with another platform, that may not be the best way to go. I know they do have an option for Linux, but C programming. This is Wednesday, 7 to 9:45 p.m., also synchronous online. This is one of the programming classes. It's kind of a core one. Seems like a lot of the programming languages are based upon C. C# is based upon C. Java is. There's a lot of programming languages that are based on C. It is also, if you're going to Wichita State, one of their required classes. It's one of them that they told us you should take while you're here at Cowley. You don't want to get up to Wichita State and find out you need to take C programming and some of these other classes I'll mention. It's computer forensics, Monday, Wednesday, 8 to 9:20 a.m., and also synchronous online. This teaches you some of the tools that are used in penetration testing. Some of the hacking tools don't necessarily teach you to hack, but you got to know how a person's wanting to break into your server in order to how to protect it. Here's 3D game development, Tuesday, Thursday, 12 to 1:20 p.m., also offered synchronous online. This is using Unity, and it also uses a programming language C#. So you again learn programming, but you learn it in an entertaining manner. I've had people tell me the game development classes will say, well, these are harder than the regular programming classes, but I enjoy them a lot more. Yeah, that's true. It's a lot more enjoyable to program something moving across screen and firing at another opponent and so forth than it is to program the factorial. 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5, for example. Both of them teach you the same programming constructs, but this does it in an entertaining manner. There's Introduction to Oracle online. And this is strictly online. It's not offered in a class or in the synchronous online section. Database work is an important component of being a computer programmer. Probably 75-80% of the programming I did in 13 years' time was database programming. You take some piece of information that somebody has entered into a screen, or you brought in from a file or from another table or from somewhere, and you're updating the database. And Oracle is one of the more popular databases, so this gives you an overview, gives you a nice introduction to working with Oracle. There's Introduction to Linux, Unix. This is, again, strictly online. Linux, Unix, it's not really hardly referred to Unix at all anymore. Linux is the most common one. This is a operating system, kind of like Windows 10, except for it can be a graphical interface like Windows 10, but it also can be completely text-based. And it's used in servers a lot. you'll find that if you add the graphical components in on a server, it opens it up to being hacked easier. And so having just the text-based interface makes your server more secure, which is preferable because you don't want your servers to be hacked into. I should mention Introduction to Linux Unix, even though it isn't on the WSU pathway. If you go on WSU, they specifically will use Linux, and they're different in their different classes, and they'll assume that you know Linux. It's not a hard item to pick up, so if you don't take the online class, don't stress about it. You can probably download a virtual machine with Linux in it and learn on your own. But you should know Linux. I would want to know Linux before I entered WSU's program. It's assembly language programming. Wednesday, 4 to 6:45, also offered Synchronous Online. And you might be sitting there thinking, well, assembly language, isn't that from the 50s, 60s? Well, yeah, that's when it's popular, but it's still used in some lower level programming if you're going to design machines, for example. And this is one class that Wichita State wants you to have taken before you come to their school. So if you go in the different areas, computer science, computer engineering. There's also, I think, got the list right here. Let me look real quick. Nope, just those two. Computer science, computer engineering is ones that they want you to take assembly language programming. So I wouldn't say it's the most exciting programming language there is, but it's definitely one they want you to have taken. Network Plus, Friday, 8 to 10:50 a.m. Also offered Synchronous Online. So Network Plus teaches you the basics of networking. A lot of this is from the theory standpoint, definitions and knowing everything you need to know to pass the certification test. But we also have equipment here at the Sumner Center. And there'll be times available that you can come in, and if you work during the week, you can come in every now and then on a weekend and actually get hands-on experience with the equipment. Security Plus, Monday, Wednesday, 9:30 to 10:50 a.m. Also offered Synchronous Online. Again, this is like Network Plus. It's meant to prepare you for the CompTIA test. We have one local industry that is looking for people that have this knowledge, the Network Plus and maybe even little Security Plus. If you had those, it'd be looking to bring you on as an intern at first, a paid intern, and then if your work holds up and so forth, they're looking to hire somebody. Every place needs networking. Seems like no matter where you go, there's a Wi-Fi set up. Wi-Fi in a donut shop, Wi-Fi in a car wash. So networking is everywhere. I've talked to people that don't even have a degree that have the certifications, and they get jobs. So now I would recommend always get a degree also. Kind of gives you a backup. If for some reason your skills become outdated with networking, or you just get tired of it, then you have something to fall back on, something to change to. Now these, again, require you to go off and take a CompTIA test after you do the prep class. These classes by themselves mean nothing. They means you took a prep class at Cowley. Getting that CompTIA certification is the important part. And then Android App Development 2, Tuesday, Thursday, 8 to 9:20 a.m. and Synchronous Online. This is if you've taken Android App Development 1. So if you haven't taken that, then you don't want to sign up for this. But that gives you the different options we're going to be offering in the spring. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. But I just wanted to let you know what was going to be offered.